Okay, good evening to one and all. The School of Ancient Wisdom is happy to welcome all of you to yet another learning session this evening. We thank you for your participation and welcome all of you in the ongoing webinar series. As always, we would like to begin with our school prayer. I would request all of you to please join me. So I'll just paste our school prayer in the chat box. So you can refer to the chat box below for the school prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you. So today we have with us Mr. Yogeshvar, who was born in the timeless tradition of Sanatana Dharma. With the grace of his gurus, he had a decent level of expertise in the practice and teaching of traditional yoga and facilitating self-knowledge in the light of the teachings of Vedanta. He follows the traditional methodology according to the Advaita tradition of Sri Shankaracharya for Vedanta, Yoga Sutras of Maharshi Patanjali for Raja Yoga, and the approach of Tamil Siddhas for Hatha and Laya Yoga practices. He was known for his yoga program in Tamil language on Jaya TV from 1999 to 2011. He is a visiting yoga acharya at the Advaita Ashram, Bangalore Rural. His way of teaching is usually scientific and informal, yet uncompromising in maintaining the quality and sophistication of Indian tradition. Mr. Yogeshwar, we thank you very much for your valuable time and we truly appreciate it. We now hand over this forum to Mr. Yogeshwar to engage us for the next 1 hour and request him to share his knowledge and insights with us. Thank you.
Namaste, everybody. It's a pleasure to join the School of Ancient Wisdom in this wonderful endeavor to bring various aspects of spiritual knowledge to everyone and in a more organized manner. And thanks a lot for giving me the Monday slot, especially my topic. The Monday slot for my topic is very important because this is about Nishta. Nishta is basically learning to drive in traffic. So you learn from your classes and you get insights from your study. We practice and during the meditation or the practice time, we experience a certain level of freedom in our consciousness. Now, Nishta would be to stay committed to that when we are faced with the ups and downs of everyday life. So whatever experiences we go through in our everyday life. So since our lives are now dictated by the Western model of Monday to Friday, Saturday week, it's not anymore based on Tithi and all that. So it's all based on Sunday to Saturday week, and so the week begins on Monday. So the week of the active life begins on Monday, and what better way to inquire into how to establish ourselves in the knowledge that we have gained, in the insights that we have gained, and what better way would be to discuss on how to be more committed and make it a living reality in our everyday situations that we are going to face in the next days in our encounter with the wide world in different aspects of life, right? So thank you for giving me the Monday slot because for this topic, the class with the usual traditional Mangalacharana. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sakaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Right. So I planned to have this session as a participatory discussion. Now, Nishta is something that is depending upon the individual's insights and commitments and the level of maturity. Right? So if I want to make this, if I say widely Nishta, so I can keep giving lectures. I can tell you what Patanjali says and what Bhagavad Gita says. So you have all this information available from a lot of acharyas. We have a lot of classes. So this, I don't want this to be a informative class. Informative class in the sense, not just me dumping some information. You can get that from Chat GPT. You don't even need me here. So all kinds of information is available online. If you're not satisfied with that, you can go for a lecture on this scripture or that scripture. Every scripture lecture is available online. Every bhashyam explanation is available online. But the issue comes when how we are going to make it our living reality. Where are the different challenges? What are the different kind of challenges that we face at the body level, at the prana level, at the desire level, at the emotional level, at the level of our habitual thought patterns, and at the level of our understanding, and at the level of our conflicting different concepts, how one concept is conflicting with the other concept, and then at the level of our conflict between our understanding and what is considered as the standard model or the standard reality or the valid knowledge which is out there, which is accepted by the masters, which is accepted by the tradition, etc. So we have a constant, uh, you know, uh, uh, effort. We need to, we have a constant challenge on having to reach up to a certain benchmark. So we think that we understand that if I eat in this manner, I am going to be healthy in this way. If I want to be healthy in this way, I should eat in this way. If I want to keep my emotions and my urges in a certain level of a balanced way, I have to breathe in this way. If I have to, keep my habitual thought assertions and patterns within under a certain threshold, I will have to do these practices like japa, ityadi. If I have to uh, stay committed to a certain kind of understanding, I have to constantly keep company with those who have owned up that understanding, for those whom that level of understanding is the reality in their life, what we call it satsanga. And if I want to constantly make sure that my understanding is in line with a valid knowledge or pramana which is out there, be it science or be it shastra, I will have to constantly update and compare and discuss and troubleshoot my different patterns of thinking. I have to question my patterns of thinking, and I will have to expose my patterns of thinking. I have to expose my entire ego structure in front of the guru, and he is going to dissect me and do a complete surgery of my ego, probably in front of 100 other people. It's not very nice. So we have to do all these things in order to have what we call as nishta, commitment, a complete commitment to what we understand, at least at this level. Each level, see, there is a growing understanding. Nishta differs from person to person according to their level of maturity. What is a nishtha for a karma yogi may not be a nishtha for a sannyasi. For a sannyasi and for a person who is committed to jnana, the kind of nishtha that is expected, the kind of nishtha he must practice or she must practice is different. For a karma yogi, for a person who is having an active life, the one who is operating from a very deep sense of doership and enjoyership, for that person, the commitment, the nishtha, the focus is different. So the person is supposed to have more nishtha in Ishvara Pranidhana. So like this, it keeps changing. So if we have to make this 1 hour, so this is an ongoing session, which is very beautiful. That every Monday we are going to meet this 1 hour to discuss the various challenges and situations in our everyday life that challenge our Nishtha, that pose a challenge for our Nishtha in whatever is our commitment based on our understanding. Of course, there are so many schools, there are so many masters, there are so many approaches. There are as many approaches as there are people. So we need to have a certain what do you call as a stream. We have to have a certain boundary and a certain direction to it. So we are going to use, because I am the one moderating and leading this session. I am the one trying to facilitate this Nishtha here. We have to keep the framework of Shankara Advaita. We have to keep the framework of Vedanta, the basic framework of Vedanta, as a comparison and contrast, and as a guiding framework for understanding, regulating, and improving our Nishtha in our spiritual life. Good. The first um, aspect that I would like to address is what we consider as correct, or in other words, what appeals to us as correct. Because we consider something as correct because it's very appealing to us. You have a lot of opinions. Each one has their own opinion on things. So we need to understand the difference between opinion and knowledge. And we need to understand the difference between our preference and actual valid knowledge. Now, one of the pet theories we have, which we use left to right in our everyday life. This is a very pet concept that most of us have. We just carelessly take refuge in that. God will take care. A very simple statement. We say God will take care. Don't worry, God will take care. Somebody's suffering. Okay, don't worry, God will take care. Have you ever really gone into the truth and the consequence of this statement? Now, when we say God will take care, a person with a perfect understanding of the Vedanta Shastra is going to interpret in one way. The person without the understanding of Shastra is going to interpret in completely another way. So we tend to think that we would like to believe. It's very soothing, it's very comforting, the idea that there is a benevolent, kind, personally caring divine being up there who is maintaining each individual's account and interfering in everybody's life and making sure that everything happens. We all say, the person up there is watching. Be careful. This kind of loose statements we just throw. We have no clue about what is God. We have not, at least most of us have not experienced anything that is palpably divine in our life, except where a few moments in a temple or when we meet a Mahatma, we get some inspiration. I'm not talking about these. I'm talking about a pratyaksha anubhava of a divinity coming and talking to us, like like we have a Zoom call. We don't have a Zoom call with. Of course, there are a lot of people who seem to have a Zoom call with one Babaji in Himalayas. But other than that, we don't have any palpable, tangible experience of a supernatural being that is participating in our life. We do have some experience with some great Mahatmas or Siddha Purushas, etc. We have that examples all over this country. So that is all right. That's a different story. I'm talking about when we say God will take care. How much are, I mean, is it a knowledge or is it just a fancy? It's very difficult to question that. If somebody says, are we ready to accept? Suppose if it is true, I'm not telling it is true, not true, right? So, are we ready to accept if the truth happens to be that there is no Mr. God or Miss God or Mrs. God sitting in a place taking care of you and me personally? If such a thing does not exist, let us say that is the truth. How are we going to take that? So, will we stop? In that case, are we going to completely stop using this term? God will take care. God, they will say, it's all because of God's grace. Somebody gains a lottery or somebody gets a promotion, we say it's because of God's grace. Okay, another person died in a train accident. Will you say it's because of God's grace we died? They all died in a train accident by God's grace. If God takes care of everything, God takes care of that also. So why are we not saying that, in tsunami, 250,000 people died because of God's grace? A yogi would say that. A person with complete surrender and real understanding of God wouldn't have a problem seeing that is also God, this is also God. But our thing is what we call as, pramada. Upanishad says, in Upanishads we learn pramada vai mrityu. The, carelessness is death. So we have this pramada or this carelessness in our attitude towards very, very important things that affect us on a very deep level. As long as there is no crisis, this doesn't matter. We just keep on going and So, but when we start our journey in our spiritual life, one of the most important things that we have to cultivate is a habit of being absolutely uncompromisingly committed to being totally sincere in our approach to intangible things and non-verifiable things. If we cannot verify something, if we are not tangibly able to experience it, or we don't have a clear understanding of it from Shastra Pramana or whatever, or we have to understand, this is my faith. You can say, okay, I believe, I would like to believe, I have faith that this is how it is. I have a faith that there is a God watching over us and taking care of us. It's a faith, but it's not knowledge, it's just a belief. Now, when I say it's just a belief, and I have it in a certain way, but if the reality is not in accordance with that belief, we will have to just wait for the moment when the reality is going to challenge that belief. So what are we going to do at that time? And then we have to, they say, these defense mechanisms in psychology, they say we have all these cognitive defense mechanisms where, we said, they say this denial, and then we have justifications. We create this, we have this mediocre attitude towards trying to justify certain conclusions and create a logic. We create our own logic to justify our own conclusions. So now this is one of the main things that we are going to address in these sessions. One of the main things, of course. This is at the core. This is at the core of Nishta. At the core of Nishta, the challenge, the core challenge in the concept of Nishta in spiritual knowledge is our carelessness with respect to confronting, challenging, and restructuring our fancies and conclusions and beliefs in line with reality. Restructuring and realigning our conclusions about ourselves, what we call as the world view, to challenge our world view, to challenge
I think there is a network issue. So if we connect that. Who's reconnecting back? We'll be back in just a minute.
Abidance and spiritual knowledge is constantly shifting the focus on oneself, on one's own reactions, on the way one is affected. So because this is immediately, you can handle this. This is immediately in our hands. So we can do something about this. Having done something about this, still if the outside situation needs some attention and it can be taken care, then we do what is necessary to take care. But if we cannot take care, what about the lot of situations when we cannot take care? At least we have enough wisdom to take care of. We have trained ourselves to take care of our end of the problem so that what is out there does not affect us as much as it would affect if we have not taken care of our end of the problem. Right? So now this is what you hear everywhere. But this is somehow now coming to the Nishta on being established or staying committed to this approach of handling our end of the problem rather than constantly trying to fix what is out there. Now, this sometimes, this is very nice. This is excellent. You are able to do all this when you have a good bank balance, when you have a good career track, when you have enough assets, and when the society is respecting you, and everything is all nice. We are able to talk this. But when we are faced with a challenge, when we are faced with a situation, be it poverty or be it disease or be it, some social injustice towards you, or be it a kind of a lack of external success, not being very successful in our everyday life in some situations, in job, etc. Then at that time, come on, don't give me spiritual discourse. I don't want to be a loser. It's basically a loser trying to justify oneself. So don't be a loser. I don't want to be a loser. Don't be a loser. One cannot be a loser. You have to go and get it. You have to get it done. If you have to make it. If you don't make it, you are finished. This pressure to make it right away in this life now, right away, and the pressure to fix outside situations is huge, because the self-definition is always coming from money, from assets, from your relationships, from the image that others have generated about us, on image from the now we have the same thing as the basic structure is the same thing. The list is basically the same. The fundamental core list is actually the same, but the domain where we look for it keep changing. You may want to have a very in those days you might want to be a very highly respected person. When you walk in the street, everybody should do this, and everybody oh, my grandfather was a great man in the village, and everybody used to fall at the floor ground and prostrate to him. Now whenever they're showing the movies, this Panayar or somebody is coming, this big man in the village is coming, everybody is like Vanga and all that, they do that. So that is considered as a success. Probably nowadays, I'm an old man, so how many likes you have in Facebook? Because old people use Facebook, that's what my daughter keeps saying. So how many likes you have in Facebook, how many shares you have, and these kind of things have started defining our self-image. It just adds to the list, but basically it is name and fame. Basically, it is recognition. It is basically ego massage. It's either so the constant personal self-definition, constantly coming from outside situations. Now that is this is a certain this is a certain kind of a nishta that we have practiced. This is a certain kind of a commitment we have reinforced in our subconscious mind. So now, when we are faced in a challenging situation, what concept kicks in? Are we able to get back, fall back on our spiritual understanding? Are we able to fall back on our spiritual approach, the approach of inner growth? Or are we succumbing to our habitual error of self-definition from external, fixing external situations, from our ability to fix external situations? This is something that we face every day. And when the point is, we will know our inner commitment. We will know our inner commitment, our extent of commitment or nishta on our spiritual knowledge, or whatever we have learned, whatever we have internalized to some extent, which seems to work when everything is going fine. We will be able to see exactly the quality of our nishta only when faced with a everyday challenging situation. Only in a challenging situation, we will know how much nishta we have. Now, what I want from the participants in this session is, probably you may maintain a journal. Nowadays it's much easier. You can just write in the notes in your phone. If you don't want to have a notebook and a pen, some old-fashioned people might have a notebook and a pen. If you carry that with you always. Phone you always carry with you. There's something called as notes, always take it off or whatever, and immediately type in. Or if you have a small pocket notebook like a journal, it's more meditative. So you can immediately write that day. Just think about the day you went. You can have a nishta journal. You can say the day and the date. Just recount the situation in the day when you were succumbing to a certain attitude or a pattern that you would not consider as spiritually beneficial, based on your whatever you have studied, based on whatever you have heard from all the classes, based on whatever you understand to be, oh, this would have been a better attitude. Oh, my friend got let us say my friend got a nice car, some Mercedes-Benz S-Class. I am able to get only a Volkswagen. Now, I have a Volkswagen, my friend just got a Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Do I feel elated and glad that he got a S-Class? Or do I feel jealous? If I feel jealous, I'm not okay with that. Now, a person with absolutely no exposure to spiritual knowledge or a spiritual goal would probably be carried away by jealousy, would probably act on the jealousy, or may know that, okay, acting on jealousy is not very nice, so I will not act on jealousy, but entertain the jealous thoughts, bitch about it when they are talking to their friends. This could be there. But a person who is aware of a spiritual goal, the one who is already on the path of inner growth, is going to see that this is not okay, right? Now, you can make a note of that. So that person is my friend. In normal circumstances, I wish well for that person. But when that person gets something that I don't have, I experienced jealousy, which comes from somewhere inside. Like Arjuna says, there is somebody inside me that seems to be moving my mind. So it seems to be pushing my decisions. So it is like that. So that is called what we call a subconscious mind, or whatever you want to call it, the chitta, the unconscious patterns of thinking, right? So you make a note of that. These are negative emotions. Now, these are very easy. To make a note, you can start with this. You can start with making a note of your negative emotions that are not, or emotions that are not in line with your understanding. Make a note. And we can do a self-observation on certain concepts. For example, we will say, when you have a discussion with your teacher, or when you have when you do a study, a critical study of something in Dharma Shastra, for example, I had this problem. There are some things in Dharma Shastra that don't seem fair for our modern thinking. They don't seem fair. A simple thing would be, like we should have no problem, discussing and dissecting sensitive issues. Remarriage of a widow. A widow, a person who has become a widow should not marry again. It's not recommended to marry. He should lead a life of a renunciate, should lead a very austere life of tapasya. That is what is recommended in our dharma for a person, for a woman who has lost her husband, who is a widow. But the same is not told for a widower, a man who has lost his wife. There's no problem for him marrying. Okay. So this is something that is generally told in the Dharma Shastra. Then, I am very deeply affected by that. Let us say, and I don't agree with that. Now, how am I going to deal with it? I'm not telling you that reject the Dharma Shastra, or I'm not telling you reject your emotion, completely surrender to the Dharma Shastra. I'm not telling you any recommendation. I'm only saying observe this. Observe this. That's what I did. I observed this. Okay, there is a discrepancy between what seems, so my buddhi sees that conclusion is not okay. But according to Shraddha, I have to first say, oh, Shastra says so. This is right. Now let me think how I can try to understand the perspective of the Shastra. This is a very huge thing. This is the central problem nowadays, because the Shraddha, when we talk about the concept of Nishta, our Shraddha gets challenged on every front. Our Shraddha is kept shaking. Our Shraddha is split. We don't have a strong Shraddha. Our Shraddha is like fragmented. We have Shraddha on so many things. So if you want to understand the Shraddha, again, we will take only this point. One class we will discuss only the concept of Shraddha. Another class we will discuss only the concept of discipline. Another class we will discuss only the concept of Vairagya. Another class we will discuss only Yama Niyama, like for example, Ahimsa, Satya, Brahmacharya. Each one, how to have a commitment and how to practice it in everyday life, how to integrate that principle or that tattva in everyday life, how to face the various challenges in our head that does not allow us to practice that discipline. So we are going to do that. In every class, we are going to take up one topic or one aspect where we require Nishtha, and we are going to analyze and how we are facing challenges. So I am broadly throwing open the forum for us to take notes during the week in your notebook, little journal, Nishtha journal, okay? In your Nishtha journal, make notes, or in your phone. The different levels in which, for example, you are not conceptually okay with something that is supposed to be the right thing, but you are not able to accept it. You are not able to conceptually accept it. You conceptually think something else, like what I told you about my conflict with the Shastra regarding widows remarriage. Right? So like that, you may have something. And then in that case, we have to see how we are thinking. And this is how I tend to think. This is my intellectual challenge. This is my challenge in my understanding. This is how I tend to think. But this is what I think. This is what the authority, or the authority of the knowledge, the source of valid knowledge. The source of valid knowledge tells me this is how it is supposed to be. But this is how I think it should be. So there is a gap between what I think should be and what actually is. And how am I tending? Am I tending to question my understanding and try to see, am I trying to see how valid is the valid knowledge, how it is valid, and how my conclusion is not valid? Am I trying to think like that? Am I tending to think like that? Or am I tending towards questioning the validity of the valid knowledge? I don't care. For example, I don't care what it says. I want this. For example, I don't care what the doctor says. I want to eat this sweet. This is not fair. They keep telling then The moment we have a strong conclusion, on a certain, we don't, we start acting on it. The moment we have a strong conclusion, we don't see how we arrived at that conclusion. We start acting on that conclusion. Sometimes we observe ourselves acting in a certain way where we are pointed out by somebody else as not okay. And then we'll have to sit and analyze ourselves to see, oh, why am I acting in this way? Because, oh, I just now realized that I am thinking like this. This is because I'm thinking like this, I'm acting like this. Right? So this is at a very extrovert level, at the very action level, at the lack of awareness level. So if the awareness becomes a little better, we are able to see, oh, this is how I am thinking. If it becomes a little bit better, I'm able to say, okay, I feel like acting, I will not act on this. This is how I am thinking. And my thinking is in discrepancy with that. What is making me think like that? We will be able to go one step deeper. Why am I forced to think like this? So for this one, there is a beautiful guiding shloka in Bhagavad Gita which says, if you develop a strong, when you keep on thinking about something or acting on some direction repeatedly, by reinforcement, you will develop attachment. Because of attachment, you will not remember what you are supposed to remember. We will not associate things correctly. You will associate things in the wrong way. And because of that, you will come to wrong conclusion. And because you come to wrong conclusions, you will get lost in the wrong track. Jayato Vishayan Pumsaka Sangatesho Jayate Shloka is that. So if you read the commentary on the shloka, you understand. It's how step by step, our intellect, our buddhi is hijacked. And once buddhi is hijacked, buddhi nashat pranashyati. Once the buddhi is gone, the individual is gone. They say, why the individual is gone? Because your self-concept, your image, the ego is hijacked. So the way you see yourself, your residual self-image, and the way in which we deal with the world, our residual world view, that gets hijacked, and our entire subjective reality changes, becomes out of alignment with the actual reality. And we have similar problems in lifestyle. We have similar problems in our dharma, in what to do, what is the right time to do this, what is the right time to do that. Let us say, okay, I need to have a shave. Oh, today is Ekadashi, tomorrow is Dwadashi. I cannot shave. A person with awareness of this would do that. But a person may have awareness of this, but completely taken away by a Western lifestyle or a modern lifestyle. Yeah, but who cares? Doesn't matter. We do so many things that it's not according to Shastra. How can we follow all that? Let us do, because I need to present myself. There is a meeting. So I need to shave and have a haircut. It's Dwadashi, I'm not supposed to haircut, but it's all right, let me do it. We keep doing so many things. This is for the sake of immediately. So when we make a note, we can see how I am tending to think. What are the justifications? Am I creating justifications for my action? Or am I questioning the basis of my action in order to help me try to look up to the valid source of knowledge? So this is one aspect in which you can write in the journal. So please do that and come with questions. And before we close, I throw open the floor for a few questions, and probably you can write it in the chat, or you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Is that all right, Mayaji, to unmute their mic and ask the question?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. If anybody is having questions, please unmute
your concept. You understand? If you have any doubts in what I said, if you don't get some of the words that I use, please ask, I'll clarify. Because this is very important. We have to do it real time. This is not just dumping information. You have enough information in your life. Information is not enough. We need to know, we have to take stock of our body, mind, intellect complex. In order to, we have to take stock of ourselves to see how we integrate the information and make it our living reality, right? So participation is everything in Nista. Otherwise, we can't do much in this session. So let us participate. Let us see what. Take your time, no problem. We have 15 minutes before closing the session. So the more you participate, the more useful this session will be. You can write in the chat. If you are shy to ask in the mic, you can write on the chat. And without telling the name of the person, she can ask the question. Maya ji can present the question and I will answer. Because I'm on a phone, I don't want to go into chat and keep coming back.
I am Janakiram.
Namaste.
Can you
Hello.
hear me, sir?
Very well.
Okay. I mean, your introductory talk was very thought-provoking, and you touched upon many points. My query is, the way I understood this, we should have a very disciplined way of approaching this process, and also look at what is the knowledge and where is the gap in our understanding. And then if you have an access to a guru, it's fine. But if we don't have an access to guru, what do we do?
No, we are going to discuss the tools. We have the Shastra, we have the tradition. And if there are some things that some tools that can be shared, which does not require a personal guru, I will not hold back anything. If I have an access to a tool that can help you face a challenge in your Nishta, I'm going to share it. And if I say this, for example, if something requires a mantra initiation, I will say this mantra may be useful. Maybe you can find somebody who will give you this mantra in your city. So we are going to only discuss solutions and tools, and what can be shared can be shared. What cannot be shared directly can be pointed out where you can go and get it.
Thank you. Right.
It's a very useful question. Thanks. When we know we are lacking.
We have a question in the chat box.
Yes, I saw. Can you read the question again?
Ji, namaste. When we know we are lacking Nishta to improve it, how do I surrender to Guru?
The first line had the question mark. Is that
Yes.
what it actually means?
When we know we are lacking Nishta to improve it, how do I surrender to Guru? That means how to improve it is the question.
Okay. Now, how to improve it? The Nishta is what we are going to discuss here. Now, surrendering to Guru is a goal by itself. Surrender to the Guru, what you say, Shraddha, which is surrender to the Guru, would not be much of a problem if you have clarity that that person is the Guru. And the clarity on why am I going to a Guru and why this person is a Guru. It's a very simple thing, like let's say I'm learning surgery, cardiac surgery. So I have to go and practice surgery under a mentor, a senior surgeon. Or if I'm any profession is like that, an architect, I need a mentor. A lawyer, I need to be a junior under a lawyer. I can't simply get my degree and start doing stuff. I have to practice as a junior, otherwise I will not really. So that is where the concept of Guru comes in every Vidya. It comes also in spirituality. It comes. So when I say this, when I look up to this person as a Guru, first I have to say, am I looking up to this person as a Guru? Is he or she my Guru? Then, before coming to that, we have to first see. Now, because right now I'm approaching the surrender to the Guru part. Surrender to the Guru is a very serious thing, especially these days, because if we are going by the Sampradayika framework, we are going by the framework of the Shankaracharya, the Vedanta Sampradaya. A Guru has to be ideally a Shrotriya or a Shrotriya Brahmanishta. That's what it says. The person must come in a Sampradaya, must be trained by a Guru, under a Guru, must have been mentored by a Guru who also has come under the Sampradaya. So there must be a trace of lineage to one of the main Acharya, to the Parampara must be there. Otherwise, the person's thinking, the way the person deals with spiritual issues will not be according to what the Shruti says. Like, for example, in Sadhana Panchakam, there is a text called Sadhana Panchakam, where he says, we will keep revisiting this point. In Sadhana Panchakam, Sri Shankaracharya says, Shruti Shiro Paksha Samashriyatam. Samyak Ashriyatam. According to the proper method, may you take to the side of may you always accept, or may your thinking be driven by the declarations or the truth of Vedanta. Shruti Shiraha means Vedanta. Pakshaha means, what does it consider? I mean, what is it? What does Vedanta highlight? Let that be the inspiration. Let that give the direction for your thinking. And in another place, Dustarka Suviramyatam. Do not argue. Dustarka means do not do unrefined argument that is not in line with the tradition. Dustarka Suviramyatam. That doesn't mean don't argue and go blindly obey blindly. Argue in order to refine your understanding. Shruti mataha tarkaha anusandriyatam. Shruti mataha means opinion. May your argument be in a way that will, that is in line with the argument, in line with the logic of the Shruti. That is in line with the progress of the knowledge in the Shruti, which is Vedanta, right? So may the argument be in line with the Shruti. Because logic is going to be what we say is like, the logic is just a servant. It can serve any master. So where our Shraddha is, according to that, our logic will work, right? So when we say surrender to a guru, first we have to clarify what is guru. Is our understanding of the guru in line with understanding of what the Sampradaya says? And have I chosen a guru according to that? Or have I chosen a guru according to the number of followers in Instagram? So this is what we need to decide. So if I have chosen a guru based on followers in Instagram, or based on the crowd that is happening in a big pandal, or based on some Asta channel or something, then that's not wrong. I'm not telling that a person with a good Instagram following cannot be a guru. What I'm trying to tell is that is not the scrutiny enough. That is not enough scrutiny. So we have to go to the next level of scrutiny. Where is that person a Shrotriya? Is that person in the Sampradaya? Is that person thinking and acting and teaching according to the Sampradaya? So some kind of a study or some reference, these things will be. We have to background check what we say. Some kind of vetting will help. So we have to go for that, and we have to see, am I looking for, did I read, including me, okay? So did I read Paramahamsa Yogananda's autobiography of yogi, and I'm looking for some kind of a mystic master to find me, come out of nowhere from the Himalayas, and then take me and give me an amulet and take me out, give me some special initiation in some forest palace. Am I looking for that? Or am I looking for, this is what I want to know. So this person seems to be knowing that. So let me go and let me spend some time. Let me give the benefit of doubt. And let me see if I am progressing in the direction that I want to progress. So this kind of realistic scrutiny, when we do, we can start after the scrutiny. We can start with a temporary surrender. If you are not able to have a complete surrender, full surrender, you cannot force it. It has to come. Surrendering to Guru is something like, once you completely surrender, then there is no divorce. It's a very painful process. If you have to get away from the Guru, something goes wrong. So I have seen a few cases. It's like a lifetime hurt. It's not easy.
Number just in case number. Phone wala.
So what we do, how to improve the surrender, what we can say is we start with a temporary surrender. Okay, let me accept him. He seems to be okay according to the parameters. Let me allow myself to be molded by him, guided by him. Let me be obedient. Let me take his inputs or her inputs for this much, for 6 months, for 1 year, whichever feels emotionally comfortable for you. Go through the process. Allow you the process. You're not completely given off. Then you re-evaluate your surrender. Then you re-evaluate the thing. By the time you would have gained some knowledge, then you are more equipped to evaluate the situation. This is how we do. There's no other way, because the Shastra says the Guru is like the analiva. The Guru is like the embers of the coal. The student has to go and blow the coal. Like you have to blow the coal and then the fire will come. because that ember, the fire is hidden there. You have to blow it, and then so you have to go and question the Guru, serve the Guru, and only then the Guru will start teaching. But nowadays the whole thing is there are guys coming out in the market giving pamphlets. I am the Guru. I am the Guru. So I am not only a Guru. I am Sadguru. So there are a number of Sadgurus. They call themselves Sadguru. They brand. It becomes a brand. Sadguru becomes a brand. It is not a title given by society anymore. So in this situation, this is the approach that I would recommend from my experience and understanding. But definitely, as you said, surrender is absolutely necessary, even though if it is temporary, it is necessary in order to see if the Guru is effective on us or not. But the standard, the framework for a Guru has to come from the tradition. It cannot come from our fancy. So that we need to check. I hope I answered the question. Did I answer or did I not? Or at least I tended towards the answer. If I took you closer to the answer, I'm happy. Yes, thank you.
And
Time. 1858. So we had two wonderful questions today. So kindly start your journal. It's a good day. It's Ekadashi. So please start your Nista journal. From today, you can think about what happened today or your thinking patterns. So whatever you think your Nista should be on. Let us say I want to have I want to be a yoga Nista. I wanted to do these asanas and all that. And how much am I able to keep my discipline? I wanted to do Anushtana every day. I wanted to do this Pracharana or Anushtana. Am I able to do that or not? Why I was not able to do that? During the japa, my concentration was not okay. These kind of very simple things up to how my thinking is challenged. Wherever you think your commitment to your spiritual journey was challenged and you found that something inside you is not in agreement, in line with your commitment or your spiritual inner growth, make a note. In your own language, in your own style, make a note. We will discuss it in the next class. Over a few classes, a direction will start emerging. So once a direction starts emerging, once the energy of this group, this satsanga, once it kind of gathers in a certain way, we will get to know how we are interacting, how it is progressing. Once we have a feel of it, then we can have very systematic discussions based on topics. We need to do this back and forth, a little bit of experimentation, question and answers for at least 2-3 sessions in order to make it relevant. Otherwise, it's going to become another information dumping, which you can get from ChatGPT. You don't need it, right? So let's make it relevant for each one of us who is here. Whoever is watching this video in YouTube, if they benefit, great. If they feel touched and if they feel a spark, they can always come and join because it's free for all. So until then, let us make this session relevant for us who are assembled here for this discussion. Okay. So with that, on that note, I will do my Mangalacharam, and then I will hand it over to Ms. Maya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vadishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
thank you, Yogeshwarji. It was a wonderful session. And people here, I would like to share that we are having a daily series of webinars, and this is the upcoming webinar of tomorrow, that is Vishishta Advaita Vedanta, Tuesday evening from 7 to 8. So kindly log in and do participate. Thank you so much.